want to ask you about tomorrow. We're going to get a CPI inflation number that's expected to be pretty big. It's supposed to rise from the 7.5% that it was month over month. So gas prices are part of that. I want to know what specifically the administration has done, they've been working on, that has worked to bring down inflation.
Well, I would say first, because well, we don't have the data at this point yet, but as we're looking ahead, we certainly assess that that we expect to see a high headline headline inflation in tomorrow's February inflation data. A key reason, as you touched on, are energy prices. We've seen the price of gas increase, as I noted, 75 cents since the beginning of the year as Putin built up his military near Ukraine and took increasingly aggressive measures that were felt in the markets. We also expect some increases in pandemic-affected sectors given our strong recovery from Omicron in February. That's a positive sign for our economy and for Americans who are going out again, traveling, going to restaurants, and getting back to normal. And we also expect to see continued moderation in used car prices. So that's what our prediction or our assessment is at this point in time. In terms of steps we have taken to address inflation, what has worked?
So October 13th is when you announced the port initiative.
Yeah.
What specifically can you point to that has worked to bring down inflation?
Well, there are a number of steps we've taken. If you compare month to month, we've seen inflationary pressure or inflationary numbers go down month to month, even as we looked at the year-to-year numbers go up, which we entirely predicted. One, we've taken steps to address bottlenecks in the supply chain, to reduce those bottlenecks. Those are steps we've taken not just since October, but since earlier this year. There's no question that we've seen impacts as it relates to getting goods and supplies out to the American public. We've also taken steps to address what we see as shortages and issues in the semiconductor space. I just opened this briefing by pressing for the passing of the competitiveness of legislation that the president would love to sign into law, because we know that one of the big pressures is, of course, from the car and manufacturing sector, or the car sector. And then third, we know that because of the pressures on the energy sector, that has been an area where we've continued to have an impact on inflationary pressure. We believe in the last few months that has been because of President Putin's invasion of Ukraine. But as I've noted, there are a number of steps working to address that. Why don't you go ahead in the yellow?
Thank you.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.